All right. Welcome to episode 3 of the Warrior Dad podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Wickersham. So excited to be here. So excited to dive into this topic today because it is a topic that I hear from many, many dads that I speak to out there in the world. And it's this concept of work-life balance. And have we gotten it all wrong? Is work-life balance a myth? Pretty powerful statement to think about. I love, and one of the things I'm going to do through this podcast each and every week, whether I bring on guests, coaches, authors, people that are relevant to everything that we do as dads, or I speak to them through an episode myself. But I always like to question the most widely held belief for things we've heard over and over again through our lives. And I'm going to challenge a lot of those things, those common thought processes, methodologies, myths out there. I'm going to bring those to the table and question them. And today, the episode is on this concept of work-life balance. And is it misguided? Because we need to balance fatherhood, being a dad, being a husband. We need to balance our career, or we need to be satisfied. And I am huge on language. Language is one of the most powerful things you can leverage on a daily basis to get more growth personally and professionally. If you change your language patterns, and I'm going to be diving into this in future episodes, amazing things happen in your life. As a dad, I'm uber aware of how my sons speak when they're practicing basketball, when they're throwing the football together, maybe after a game, after a lifting session, after a test, something. Throughout their days, I'm very, very conscious and very, very plugged in and intentionally listening to how they speak, because how we speak sends a message to our subconscious mind, our NASA supercomputer, of how we want to operate. So I challenge and I say, and I've read recently, and I agree with it 100%, that this concept of work-life balance is just completely wrong. What is balance? What do we got to have an equal amount to balance out? It's so kind of out there and you can't ever figure it out. You can't have a certain number, and it's totally dependent on you as the individual. And what ends up happening, and where I see the frustration, is we've been fed this work-life balance term over and over again. We've been programmed as dads to think, I need to have this work-life balance. You're chasing something that's never going to happen. So should we, and I argue, and I coach on a different term, rather than work-life balance, work-life satisfaction. Are you satisfied on a daily basis what you put in at work? If you are, fantastic. If that means 10, 12 hours, hey, sometimes it requires that much effort. But if you put 10 to 12 hours and you still come in and you're intentional with your wife and your kids for an hour away from your phone, could you be satisfied with that time spent with them? I would say, heck yes. I would say you're more satisfied, or could be more satisfied, with that dedicated, intentional hour with your family than a dad who unplugs at 5 o'clock, comes home, and is on his phone all night long, checking social, checking the score of the game, doing things that aren't really intentional with their family. But that dad who might be 9 to 5, 8 hours, 4 or 5 hours with the family, but not intentional, that might be perceived as a more balanced work life. I think the term needs to be done away with. I think it causes a lot of frustration. It causes this path and this chase towards balance, and we're just never going to get there. But what if you were satisfied in both of those areas more days than not? Imagine changing from work-life balance to work-life satisfaction and asking yourself the question, what do I need to do when you start a day to be satisfied from a work perspective and satisfied from a personal family perspective? That's a pretty easy yes/no question. That's something that you can check off at the end of your day and be satisfied. That's something when you check off, yes, I was satisfied at work. I was satisfied at home with the family. You can look in the mirror at the end of the night when you're brushing your teeth. You can feel good about yourself. You can say, you know what? I was satisfied in both those areas. I had a kick-ass day. Feel good about yourself. We constantly beat ourselves up. And if you're in that balance, work-life balance mode, you're never going to feel good about yourself. You're never going to look in the mirror at the end of the day and say, wow, that was a great day. I was satisfied at work, satisfied at home, at family. Crushed it. All right, let's do it again tomorrow, right? Repeat. You're spiraling up. All from changing one word. So many times in life, we are not far off from where we need to be. Could be the change of one word. Could be the tweak of one thing that you're doing. I work with my sons on shooting form all the time. It's not the easiest thing to do as a dad, coach your sons on how to shoot the basketball. But many times I tell them it's just one tweak, one minor tweak can change everything. Then you're right there. So going into this weekend, I want you to really think about changing your vocabulary, changing your language, and getting rid of putting to bed, digging up a hole, tossing work-life balance in the ground, throwing some dirt over top of it. Because we've been fed a lie, we've been fed a myth, we've been programmed to think that's what we need to chase. And it's caused a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of uncertainty, where if you just change it to work-life satisfaction, I guarantee you, you will feel so much better after your days. You'll pour more into work. You'll pour more in your family because you want to be satisfied. You don't want to balance. You want to be satisfied. Use that, implement it, and then drop me a line. Let me know how you make out. We need to take action upon the knowledge that I share with you. Knowledge is useless without action. Put it into action. Change your vocabulary. Change your language. Work-life satisfaction. And amazing things will happen. I appreciate listening. Dare to be uncommon. Love, lead, legacy. Create a legendary day. And I'll talk to you soon.